Hi all, it's Sue Cook here again. So I've noticed over the past year, 2 years maybe, people are making posts about the Flexner report and what happened after that with the kind of sabotage of, let's just say homeopathy. If you know what I'm talking about, you know what I'm talking about. Now, about 27 years ago when I was studying homeopathy, I read a really good book called Divided Legacy by Harris Coulter, and I don't have that book anymore, so I can't be precise on the numbers I'm about to quote. They are ballpark, but the scale of it's correct. I'll explain. So back in about sometime around 1860 to 1890, around that era, there were epidemics in North America, in France, Europe, England, UK, things like diphtheria and infections like that. So they were fairly epidemic. Now, at the time, there were three primary systems of medicine that patients could access. One of them was what we now term allopathic medicine. So that they would have been things like mercury, leeches, purgatives, emetics, things like that. Then there would have been herbalism, and then there would have been homeopathy. Now, something very interesting happened statistically, and I'm again quoting from Harris Coulter's book, Divided Legacy. What happened was, in all of those places where people were accessing the same treatments, were similar or almost identical percentages of people were surviving or dying. So the people who were just having allopathic treatment, from memory, something like this, the death rate was something like 30%. Okay. And the people who were having just herbs, the death rate was, and I can't remember exactly, somewhere between 9 and 13%. The people who had homeopathy and herbalism, I think the death rate was 0.8%, something like that. But where homeopathy was concerned, there were no deaths. I think that that is accurate. Obviously, the numbers aren't going to be exactly right, but they're going to be somewhere in there. But what happened next was very interesting. In France, because homeopathy had been so incredible in saving lives during these epidemics, homeopathy won loads of awards, and if you live in France and go to the doctors, you can still get homeopathy now. They tend to prescribe in the low doses, the material doses, up to like 12C or not a lot beyond that, but you can get it and it's a respected treatment. The opposite happened in America, as we know, with what happened with the Flexner report, and a specific individual banned homeopathy and started the AMA, the American Medical Association, and because of the competition. And as we know, those of you who follow alternative medicine and homeopathy, you know that it's had a really bad rap, but this is why. It's because it's been competition. So this is just a quick video I wanted to say about that, just to add to and add a little bit more background to what happened with the Flexner report and the kind of terrible things that happen to homeopathy, really, when it's a shame. Because as we know, presidents use it, the royal family use it. The man who shut down homeopathy himself had 3 homeopaths. So, you know, they don't want ordinary people having it. But if you know what's good for you, get yourself a homeopath. I'm Sue Cook, thank you.